so long I have my coffee, so you're gonna ask me about my routine, kan? So for me, so long I dapat my coffee, I'm okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
but, this
So,
time kan is a tough time for everyone. Dan dekat US, situasi kat US pun case is quite a lot. So obviously, my family from back home are very worried. My mom especially, kan.
so,
Always checking. Are you going out? Are you going out? Macam tu.
so how are you holding up sekarang ni?
So sekarang ni, I think the cases are about 930,000 the last I checked. So I mean, but kalau you care about the whole population of the US, that's obviously going to be a lot more than Malaysia. But having said that, it's very grim. Sedih juga sebab when you pergi, I like to go running around the lake and there's hardly any people. Bila pergi grocery shopping pun macam stress sangat sebab you want a social distance and obviously kalau jalan-jalan along the aisles you can't tell where someone's going to come. So yeah. Yes, hi Curly, I am in the States. I am in Washington DC.
So should we start now lah?
Sure, boleh.
Okay. So first of all, welcome to Cosmo on Air, everyone. So today here we have the beautiful Sarah Chen. So I'm just going to introduce you first to the audience so that semua orang boleh kenal lah. So tetamu hari ini beliau merupakan co-founder the $1 Billion Fund for Women yang berjaya melaburkan $1 billion to $1 billion American yang disalurkan kepada bisnes yang diasaskan oleh wanita. That is a very good work you have done.
Thank you.
And baru-baru ini juga you telah dinobatkan sebagai pemimpin global muda oleh World Economic Forum. So you've done everything. I mean, look at you.
Thank you. Not there yet. A lot more to go. I mean, these are part of the journey, kan?
So, but you're only 29, right?
Oh, are you revealing my age? Well, okay, it's public.
sorry.
This year. No, we should be proud of our age, I actually think this, but I don't know why wanita selalu nak hide our age. For men, it's like if you're older, you're more distinguished, whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm turning 31 in June, so
31 in June. Oh.
yeah, so I'm in my 30s now. Can't believe it.
You know what I heard? 30 is the bomb.com.
30 is the bomb.com.
Yeah.
Dengar dari siapa ni?
Somewhere on the internet lah. Like
it's a good thing, you mean?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I think so. It's about, in your 20s, if I think about it, in your 20s, you're sort of still figuring out yourself, siapa, diri kita nak pergi mana, what is our objectives, what do we like, what do we not, even in, the relationships that we have, the people we surround ourselves with, kawan-kawan kita, kalau I look at my life, my friends in my 20s, yang I thought would be, my lifetime friends because we change as people, priorities pun different for everyone. It's, you go in a different direction. So your 30s, hopefully you have a little bit of experience, confidence pun lebih sikit. And, it's your time, I feel, your 30s, 40s is your time to shine and, really put to work whatever that you've learned yang,
sure.
Maybe good or bad in your 20s, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So for those who don't know, Sarah Chen sekarang tengah live all the way from Washington DC, USA. Jauh tu.
Jauh.
Yeah. So boleh tak you ceritakan sedikit sebanyak tentang keadaan dan perkembangan diri you dekat USA? And
boleh?
How do you feel about this staying at home situation?
So I think some of my friends are joining here and they know me well. Kalau orang yang suka keluar, jalan-jalan, travel, keeping yourself busy and things like that. Even although we are grateful, kan syukur, my husband and I, we have a roof over our heads. We don't have to worry about.
Also, you're living with your husband sekarang lah?
Yes. So my immediate family, that is my mom, Abang Brian, some of you may know, celebrity chef in Malaysia. He is in Malaysia, and so that's my core family. And then me and my husband were here in his family, so that's why I'm in DC juga lah. But so in terms of the situation, I was saying kita syukur. Of course, first of all, it gives perspective to your life. What you take for granted dulu, macam pergi restaurant, keluar dengan your friends. You're never going to take that for granted anymore.
Anymore.
That moment, right? When we actually can go out. So I think it is sad, of course, kita pun rasa macam anxious duduk kat rumah, anxious tak boleh buat benda-benda yang kita biasa. But the new word around town is this is the new normal. Kan? You need to think about, what does this mean for you? And I guess for me, it's been hard. I'm not one to sugarcoat. I don't like to, pretend, because I think the reality is it's going to be susah untuk semua kita. Dugaan tu berbeza untuk setiap individu, tapi dugaan juga, it's a challenge in every way, right? So for me, I'm trying to focus on the good things, the time that we have, that I have at home, to be focused on things that I dulu tak ada masa atau tak ada mind space. I think that's important. Before this, we're always on the go. And, I'm sure Ethne, working in Cosmo and fashion and the magazine, well, it's always go, go, go. Ada event, ada ni, ada. So you pun rasa macam tak ada space in your mind to even think about, okay, is this right? Is this what I want? Is this the right strategy? Semua tu. So I think it's this could be a good thing. And it's sad, it's closer than you think. I've had people that I know, dia punya mak semua dapat COVID. So dalam ICU, semua tu. So it's, it's closer than you think. So pada semua yang tuning in from home, please stay at home. It is not something that you want to spread, even if you're not thinking about yourself, think about your families, right? Sebab, kita yang muda-muda ingat kita invincible. But we might carry it and not know that.
Yeah, sure. Do you think benda ni buat put limit on you to become yourself, or it opens new door for you discovering more of yourself?
Good question, Effie. So I think sebenarnya being forced to stay at home and not be as active as you could be, I think sebenarnya it opens you up in a way that you never expect, kan? Because you see everything. Some of the things that people are discussing are, oh Lord, macam mana duduk kat rumah dengan suami, gaduh, dengan anak-anak, dengan all these things. You see your reality for what it is. And for some people, that's hard, right? Because I know for me, sometimes I travel because I want to escape, I want to just have a different change in the momentum of life, kan?
Especially untuk orang yang travel a lot, kan? Sekarang diorang macam dah terkejut, macam dah tak boleh pergi mana-mana, so we have to sort of lock ourselves down in this situation, right?
Betul.
So, looking at your amazing success stories, I assume you are a very workaholic person?
I think if you ask all my friends, my family, and my husband especially, he will agree, yes, 110%. Which is not a good thing. So yeah, I'm trying to work on that. Talking about opening yourself, right? I'm trying to work.
Speaking about work, seperti yang kita semua maklumkan, this PKP or MCO suruh kita duduk rumah and also work from home. So, tapi some of us ada yang baru mula bekerja, ada yang tak ada conducive space untuk to do work.
Betul.
So, how do you think MCO ni affect quality kerja kita?
So, this is funny yang Ethne brought this up sebab I baru je cakap dengan my friend who is a partner in a venture capital firm, and dia tengah cakap dengan I, Zoom call dari dia punya closet, okay? So because she's a mom, she has two small kids, and she said, if my children hear me, they will want to be with me. And that's motherhood, right? And that's difficult for everyone. But I think we need to, and I'm seeing it with good relationships where like me and my husband, we are lucky we have a home where we have a separate room. So kalau ada conference call tu, kadang-kadang I will be in the dining room. Macam sekarang ni I'm in the main hall. Dia boleh tengok TV tempat lain, things like that. But it's about having a discussion about what are my priorities. I see some of my Lean In Malaysia women on the call, and what we talk about selalu bila fikir tentang priority and being an ambitious woman, being an ambitious man, you need to have a partner that supports you. And that is going to be one of the most important decisions that you make in your life. Okay? Yeah. So, to keep quality kerja tinggi, what we need to do is make sure that we have boundaries. I think it could be a good thing. For me and my team, I see that the quality of work hasn't changed. In fact, it's been, for me, I know quality of work has improved. Sebab talking about me being a workaholic, kan, Afni, part of being a workaholic is you think that being busy is a good thing, but really it's not. It doesn't give you the space to think and to move from one thought to the other. Some of you know Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, at US, Bill Gates started Microsoft and he's doing a lot of work. Right now, part of what he learned from his mentor, Warren, was that there are days in his calendar that are completely empty. And why is that? It is because it gives him time to think. So even for me, because I'm forced to be at home, me and my co-founder are forced to be at home, we talk a lot more. We get to work on an idea a lot more together. And we get to be focused for a longer period of time without, having to go to this event, having to speak and things like that. Afni, I see a couple of questions kat sini. Should we answer?
Sure, boleh je kalau you nak.
Boleh je. How do you deal with anxiety from Curly? So thanks for that question. Anxiety is something that I think dugaan semua, especially kita yang millennial, right? Because we're in a different life. Yang expectation dia, you need to be busy all the time. You need to be occupied. Busy is a status symbol. Tapi I think what's important is, you need to think about what are you keeping yourself busy with, right? So in dealing with anxiety, I think for me, Curly, I selalu will pause, take a step back and sort of rethink the situation, right? Why am I feeling this way? I am actually quite a nerd. I'm quite geeky and I suka baca buku, suka tulis dalam journal. And that helps me a lot, right? So I go to, a empty white page and I write my thoughts, right? And a lot of times anxiety, dia punya root cause dia, it's from one issue that you connect to another issue, but it replays in your head. So it might just be one thing that you're sort of replaying again and again. That's causing you anxiety, but really when you go to the core of it, so like for me, I literally like to mind map it. What am I feeling? Why is this? They like to say the 5 whys, and so why, to the point that you can't answer anymore. That might be a reason, and you work from there. And I'm not gonna tell you the typical other tips, but I like to have my cup of coffee in the morning to help me think through the day. That helps me my anxiety, although it shouldn't, because caffeine is not necessarily good for you. But it's that tea, coffee that I have in my hand. I don't know, makes me feel grounded in some way. Taking a walk, going outside. So I mentioned tadi to Afni, I suka pergi jogging around the lake near my house, and just being in the wide open, running, listening to music, that helps me a lot with my anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, I always do that. Walking and listening to music. It makes me kind of escape daripada the reality of
Mm-mm.
now.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
So
that's it.
somewhat also make me inspired juga, kan?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So speaking of inspired kan, dari segi personal development, macam mana kita nak stay focused? Kadang-kadang kita kat rumah macam boleh lama-lama jadi bosan. So how do you stay inspired and focused
Betul.
during? But because this question is very personal.
Faham. So
Uh,
I think, yang susahnya bila work from home is sekarang ni tak ada boundaries tau. So it's like your time is, you
mm-mm.
start work, you don't know when to end, and part of it pun you fikir macam, tak apalah boleh buat later. I pun tak pergi mana-mana kan. Whereas at home, at
Mm-mm.
work, by 5 o'clock, you want to get out of this place, so you better get all your work done kan. So
Mm-mm.
there's a different mentality to that. Um,
Yeah,
so
sebab
I
kita
think, mhm,
tak boleh asingkan personal and professional life kita tu.
betul.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
So, like I said earlier, I think creating boundaries for yourself is very important. To stay focused, I think first of all is to always set yourself, what is your goal? Setiap hari, I like to start my day with, again, talking about writing in my planner, right? And I'll show you my planner in a little bit. But I will always write, okay, today, what are the top, I used to start with what are the 5 things that I want to do today. And I realized that, oh
Oh,
my God,
you
5
make a
things
whole
is really,
list.
yeah, it's quite panjang, my list. So I pun
Oh,
rasa, by week 2, I rasa burnout sebab you're putting pressure on yourself. 5 may be a lot longer than you think to do. So now I
mm-hmm.
just start with 3. And every day, bila kita mula hari dengan objektif, kita pun rasa macam, okay, we're moving forward, and the fact that I can tick it off my list one by one, that keeps me focused, that keeps me rasa macam, okay, ada juga progress macam ni.
Yeah.
So number 1, I would say, start a list, whatever you want to achieve, put it down in paper. And this goes for goals as well. I feel a lot of the things, one of the gifts my late arwah ayah Sarah gave to me is my first journal when I was 6 years old. And he said to me, whatever you want in life, you write it down.
Write it down.
And,
Sure, yeah.
dapat A ke dalam bahasa, A dalam science, dia, and part of it, dia akan, he'll give me a gift lah, whether that's RM100 ke, a toy, whatever. But it's, he started that concept of putting it down. And as I hit my 30s, talking about age kind of me, I look back at all my goals over the last few years, and a lot of it I've achieved, maybe not in the time that I expected. So maybe delay, sebab whatever, but by writing it down, there's this concept called law of attraction, right? So bila you commit to it, you write it down, you make it a reality somehow, whether that's conscious or not, it's your message to the universe lah, macam tu. So write it down, and then beyond that, I think have a routine as well. You talk about routine kan, so having some sort of consistency. So for me, I my day dengan bersenam, yoga ke, pilates ke, and that's 20 minutes of my day. I try to do 4 to 5 times a week, and that's me lompat-lompat depan TV in front of my husband.
Yeah.
But that's the reality now, kan?
Do you meditate?
Not as much, yeah. I do
Not as
yoga,
much, yeah.
but
Yeah.
sebenarnya the truth is I find meditation susah for me because you talk about focus.
Yes, yeah.
That's
I
something
tried.
that I will. Mhm.
I tried meditate about 1 week, and then I terus lose focus. Terus
Yeah, I
sangat
think
senang.
it looks easy, tapi you kena work on it lah. So that's something I pun rasa, I have to work on that.
Kena
But
rajin.
yeah, I think having a momentum to even working from home, right? And breaking it up. Part of it is, okay, oh my God, for me, I didn't know what day it was at some point, kan? And what I learned is you need to break up your activities. Weekdays, have a different routine. Weekends have a different routine.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you feel a little bit better with that lah.
Alright. Saya banyak tengok dekat Instagram kan, orang buat so many things yang diorang tak pernah buat sebelum ni. For example, memasak. Masak lah paling saya banyak sekali tengok. Tak kisahlah masak tak jadi ke apa kan. Tapi have you ever during this period discover anything new or do anything new yang you never thought you like or yang you enjoy lah, yang you tak pernah buat sebelum ni? Yeah.
So, I rasa macam this is something I tak sepatutnya cakap, tapi I will say it juga. Walaupun expectation untuk wanita to enjoy cooking, and I have a celebrity chef brother that loves cooking and does good cooking. I sebenarnya don't really enjoy it, or before this did not really enjoy it, and
Oh my god, same.
you know, because it's so stressful. There's so many ingredients. Ada ni, ada tu, lepas tu, you know, you have to boil this. So I felt at one point I didn't really enjoy it. And for those of you married women, bila kahwin tu ada juga lah expectation, or you know, you want to try, you know, to cook something nice for your husband, semua tu, which I did not necessarily enjoy, but I did it anyway because I love my husband. But I think over time, sebab, you know, in the time in confinement kan, kita ada masa on our hands, and you know, I also wanted a break from work, and just trying to be at home if it's raining, whatever. What can you really do? You can read, you can learn a new skill, so on and so forth. Tapi you know, we all need to eat juga. So I've been cooking a lot more and starting to enjoy it actually. So something new that I'm gonna try, inspired by my friend Izana Saleh, I think she's online here, is to try to bake banana bread this weekend. So
Oh wow, that sounds so delicious.
I love bananas, I love banana bread, and I have my first baking tray ever at 31 years old. Yeah, so never too late, never too late. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to read any question from the viewers?
Sure.
If there's any.
Hi Azni. Sri Azni asked, how do you keep calm, right, and stay positive during this MCO? You know, I think I'm gonna say something maybe controversial. I don't know, but you know, there's this
Say it.
whole. I'll always say what I think. That's
Okay.
what you get from
Speak
me.
your mind.
Yes, speak my mind. So I think I'm a positive person. I believe so.
I can
But
see.
I think there's been too much of a focus on positivity, perhaps. That it is a measure of our worth. That if we are not positive, we may not be, you know, progressing in the right way. And the reality is, look, we're all human beings. I rasa, you know, ada masa yang, you know, kita sepatutnya rasa negatif, because this is a negative time. It is a pandemic for the first time, you know, in a lot of our lives, right? You've never experienced these things before. So it's okay
No one is ready for this.
No one is ready for this. No, it's okay to not feel good. It's okay to feel negative sometimes, that it's not going to move forward. But the good thing about darkness, right, and being in a negative state is when you are able to overcome it, and hopefully we all do, you see the light a lot brighter, you know, and that's cliche, but I really think that we shouldn't push ourselves to be so positive all the time, right? For me, I have my up and high highs, and I started talking about this a lot more, especially for some of you young entrepreneurs, freelancers, whatever, that you don't necessarily have a structure. You know, you have your high highs, right, where you feel fantastic, everything is going well, semua yang positif, outlook pun positif, apa yang kita nak. But there are some days where it just doesn't work out, and it is in the failures, right, that you actually learn a lot more. I think I failed a lot. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's taught me about who I am, who I want to be, and how to move forward. So I think it's you know, continue to keep yourself on a path. So maybe reframing what positivity means in this time, Asni. For example, whether that's you know, being able to wake up every day and put a smile on for your little mochi, do something good for your babies and things like that. I think that's a wonderful thing to aim for, and that's a positive thing that you do a day. And if that's the only positive thing, that's okay. You try again tomorrow, right? So just keep moving forward and keep setting little goals. Like I said, it doesn't have to be 5 things in a day, but 3 things. And think about all the good things that you're able to do right now. Being grateful. One of my favorite stars in sort of the celebrity world that I look up to is Oprah Winfrey. And she said,
Oprah
the more
Winfrey.
grateful that I am, the more that I have. And I think that's so, so true.
Yeah, because I did self-reflection the other day. I fikir, all the mistakes yang I pernah buat sebelum ni, I cannot put the pressure on me macam salahkan diri I. I just be thankful because those mistakes yang buatkan diri I sekarang. So that's just some self-reflection yang I did lah sepanjang tempoh masa ni.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
I'm reading Harif's comment
Harif's
here. I think having balance of negativity and positivity helps to grow. Do you agree? Yes, absolutely. Seperti mana yang kita cakapkan. And bananas are good for energy. I agree too.
Yeah.
Have a banana a day and keep the doctor away. Yeah.
So hari tu kan I ada terbaca this one statement tau while I was on YouTube. This one comment, dia cakap, imagine how many opportunities are let down because of low self-esteem. What do you think about this statement? Macam mana you handle self-doubt? Because I'm struggling myself because I'm still young, so I still macam nak discover myself lagi. Always have self-doubt and inner saboteur saying that I'm not good enough, yeah, stuff like that, bad stuff. So how do you elak daripada suara-suara ni daripada bring you down?
Faham. So Afni, I hate to break it to you, tapi I think self-doubt will always be there. Walaupun muda, walaupun tua, and in some ways, it helps you think about what you could be doing better, right? You're addressing your weaknesses that you think are your self-doubt. But I think it's about self-doubt, fear, imposter syndrome, right? So thinking that we shouldn't be where we are because we're not qualified, we're not good enough, orang lain lebih baik, lebih berkaliber ke apa-apa. All of these things will continue to be in your heads, but it's about overcoming all of it despite the fear. So walaupun fear to exist, it won't disappear. How do you think about moving forward even with it, right? So for me, frankly, bila I decided to move to the US, kan, some of you know, I had a good career in Malaysia. I started being in Malaysia with my good friends out there. I was doing a lot of things that made me happy. I had a good community and things like that. And coming to the US in Washington DC specifically, I tak ada kawan langsung selain my husband and his side of the family. I don't have family here. I took a big risk, and I had to network and build the $1 billion fund for women. I built it from literally just networking like crazy. And tak ada siapa yang tahu siapa Sarah Chen dekat US, right? Sebelum ni, I think it was 2017, late 2018. Actually, it's been 2018, yeah. So almost 2 years. But when I started with nothing. And I made those contacts. I spoke to a lot of people, tried to find good people yang ada misi yang aligned with me, so mission aligned, right? So I think, this self-doubt, and of course in all that time, I always have self-doubt, right? Boleh ke? Can I do this? Can I build a career for myself here? Can I, be with all these people that I see on TV, frankly, right? So macam in DC sekarang ni, it's quite often that you can bump into some politician ke, some executive that you read in the newspapers dulu. And I'm very grateful and thankful that now I'm able to work with some of the best people that I've read about, right?
Yeah.
And I think all of this starts with being persistent with yourself, right? So like I said, walaupun susah, you start from one point, you do your top 3 things and you keep going forward. I did a post I think a couple of days ago because I felt a little bit down, and I was talking to my husband. I said, why is it that every day feels harder and harder? Macam every day
Oh,
susah.
yeah.
Bila nak rasa macam, oh, I am flowing. When do I feel like this?
Yeah, I
And
read it.
yeah, he said to me, honey, you're doing harder things. You're addressing more difficult problems. And what that means is that you are growing, right? So don't feel like you can't do it just because you couldn't do it on that day. Remember, as a person, Anthony, you pun evolve. So who you were sekarang ni, who you were in 2019 is different from who you are sekarang ni.
Yeah.
Kan? So, I think there's a lot to be said with letting self-doubt be in your way, because I've seen it. A lot of great women I work with have private conversations with me, and some of them say, I don't think I'm ready from the promotion. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for that. But the reality is a lot of other less qualified people are a lot further than you are just because they decided to take the risk, right? So think about that. Think about how many other people that are less qualified. You think about a lot of the business leaders who didn't even go to university, who dropped out from university. I mean, we talk about Mark Zuckerberg, right? He dropped out of university, basically copied somebody's idea and made it what it is, right? If you all watch the Social Network. So, of course, he's built himself along the way. He surrounded himself with good people, but think about, what else you could be missing out on, right? So the quote that I like is, kalau kita tak takut, if you are not afraid, what would you do?
What would you do? Yeah, I never thought of that. I selalu envy orang yang ada confidence. So I finding it hard macam mana nak gunakan the envy tu sebagai nak boost I punya confidence juga. So I find it hard to nak buat envy tu jadikan I punya catalyst to go further. Yeah.
That's a good concept actually.
Yeah.
And for all of you here listening in, for me, I use anger as my catalyst, right? Kalau ada orang yang don't make me very happy with whatever they're doing, for me, I smile, I walk away, and I say, okay, great, thank you very much for your time. I'll come back and I'll be better. And that is a catalyst for me, that fire, right? So always try to, no one out there that's successful today hasn't been in hard situations, right? So think about that. So there will always in life, there will always be someone better than you at something. I know I'm not the best in the world, and that helps me because then I think, okay, who else can I speak to? For me, actually Masani and me, because we are all at home, I'm spending a lot more time speaking to my mentors. So something that I would advise, Cosmoholics semua, is to think about who can you have for your own board of advisors. Talking about building confidence, feeling like you're progressing, is who are people that you look up to that can be, you think about a company, ada macam board of advisors, directors. Who is that for you personally that will think about your best interests? And also for those of us in the corporate world or, working in larger organizations, yang penting, a level above mentorship is sponsorship. So who will be able to sponsor you and say, if there's a promotion slot open, I'm maybe a senior executive or whatever, and say, Afni, you just got started, right? And I see that there's an opening and I know that you're talented. And I'll say, hey, let's think about putting Afni for this project. Why don't we give him the opportunity? And having someone to speak out for you, obviously, you need to show that you are working on yourself. Kan? That for me, as your senior executive, I want you to do well because it also, first of all, I want to help the younger generation. I see myself in you in some way, that you are trying the best that you can. You'll make mistakes, but also beyond that, I think also helps this person that's sponsoring you, because then you're identifying new talent, right, for the company dan semua tu. So I think it's I think it's a matter of perspective and how we view different things. And yes, Nisha, consistency is key.
Nisa, that's my boss right there. Okay, before we end, I nak tanya, sekarang kerajaan Malaysia baru umumkan tempoh PKP or MCO ni dilanjutkan lagi 2 minggu. So, orang dah mula resah. Especially for those who with limited resources. How do you educate yourself and others untuk start fresh when we are finally free to go out?
So, this is me being a little bit negative or realistic.
Sure, be real.
But I think I will say what I say, right? But honestly, Afni, pendapat Sarah, masa ni will be longer than we think. In the US, the stay-at-home order is until May 15. So of course, around the world, things are improving, but it will be a while before kita rasa macam comfortable untuk, be in a crowd, to do things as normal. There will be that sense of fear that will continue to be with us. But maybe that's not such a bad thing, right? If we're washing our hands many more times than before, when we never washed our hands, we're good, right? We're gonna be healthier, hopefully, and keeping the viruses and the bacteria away. But it will be some time, Ethne, before we all be comfortable. I was just thinking about it. When will I be comfortable to get in a plane with all these other people, be in an airport, feel comfortable?
The fear is still there.
The fear will be there for a while. Hopefully, we will be able to get rid of the fear a lot sooner with, the solutions to the problem. But I think the reality is that we see how important health is and how we've taken that for granted, a lot of things for granted. And for me, I know I want to be focusing on things that matter, right? So it also gives you a perspective to, tiap-tiap hari kita buat kerja ni ada impact ke? Ada tolong orang ke? Do we do something that's good for something, right, that we care about? So I think it's gonna be a while, but hopefully in this time that kita semua dekat rumah, ada masa boleh reflect on your own skills, what you're short on, being honest, brutally honest with yourself, right, on what you need to do and what you need to do to get to where you want to be if you're not where you are, right? So some people will be leaving their jobs. We're seeing that sebab they don't believe in it anymore. Some people will want to start something new that they feel is more connected to their beliefs and things like that. And I think that when we get out there, I think a lot of us are anxious currently, resah, what is the future? But in a lot of ways, we create our future, right? So macam mana kita nak guna masa ni untuk membina, right? Membina kita punya foundation so that when we get out there, we are ready. So I think it will be some time before we all feel comfortable, but we still, the reality is life still needs to go on, kan? For a lot of us, we need to feed our families. We need to put food on the table. And what does that mean? How do we reshape? For some of us that are doing businesses, we're thinking about, okay, like even for me, I used to do a lot of meetings in person to build the relationship, to get an investment, whatever. Now I have to do it virtually. And I'm taking a lot more meetings for that. So, there will be a change in behavior. So bottom line is, cara kita hidup sebelum ni takkan be the same thing as we're gonna have moving forward. Life will change, and that's the reality.
There you go. So I don't know how to end this because there's so much that you shared, so membina. So before we end our live session, do you have anything to say to the audience? Any last words before we
Any
go?
last words?
Before we go.
So, well, first of all, I nak ucapkan terima kasih banyak-banyak to Cosmo, to Effie for this time.
Welcome.
Saya touch juga, that you all still remember me. But as much as possible, I want to be helpful. So I'm reaching out to a lot of, the Malaysians back home as well to try to offer help. This is my way of giving back. So at any time, if you all want to reach out to me, I'm on Instagram, DM me, I'll be sure to respond. But in this time, I rasa message Sarah is, syukur, be grateful for all that you have. Take note of where you are in your life. Use this time to take note of where you are in your life and ask yourself the very important question. Is this the life that I want? Is this who I want to be for the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next year, the next few years? Kalau tak, macam mana? How do we think about building ourselves, right? And I like to say Rome isn't built in a day. We need to have a foundation, and this is a time, I think, to build our foundation. You think about all the buildings that you see in the world that are strong. What makes them strong? It starts from the foundation. And if you think of yourself as I mean, this is a big cliche, but you think about yourself as a product, right? Are you a good product? Is this what you want for yourself? And ask that for yourself, not what other people think about you. Because what you're seeing now is, it really doesn't matter, right? What bags we're wearing, how much makeup we're wearing, because we're at home. What car we're driving, it doesn't really matter. What matters? So ask yourself what matters. What is your measure of success? Success is something that is personal, and walaupun kita tengok, orang ni macam happy and banyak duit semua tu, is that what we want for ourselves? Is different, right? So there are a lot of comedians that are unhappy and have not, we hear of things where a lot of celebrities commit suicide and things like that. And you wonder, I thought this guy had everything. Kenapa dia rasa macam tak happy? And that's a good time to think through your life, where you want to be. So I hope that all of you continue to look up, reframe what positivity means to you. It doesn't mean being happy every day. It means doing something meaningful for yourself that makes you feel good and that you're moving forward. So absolutely, Harry. Acceptance is key to be free. Agreed.
To free. Get it, Perry, and I agree. That is song. I know that song. So thank you, Sarah, for you're such an inspiring person for me. I think you touched so many hearts today.
Thank you so much.
And I wish you the best for your well-being with your family and loved ones.
Yes, you too.
So I really appreciate
everyone online. Thank you so much. All right, take care.
And saya nak minta maaf juga kalau ada terkurang bahasa apa. And to Cosmo viewers, selamat menyambut bulan Ramadan. Sabar, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, salam Ramadan, selamat berpuasa semua. Thank you so much. See you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.